Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome into today's DLLS Cowboys Podcast. It's good to see you, but it's cold outside, so we didn't go into work. We're going to do this bad boy from the house. We got all the Cowboy stuff to get to with you guys. Got to get you all squared away.
Are you raw dogging the ski gear? Like underneath that? What's underneath that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I thought you was raw dogging the Parker. Yeah, I didn't know.
Never.
I didn't know if he was raw dogging the Parker or not.
I would never. Here's the good news about technology. Oh, no meow today. Meow. Here's the good news about technology. We can handle this crap from the house. We don't even know if the roads are bad. We're just going to handle this crap from the house. Shout out to Bob. Between this podcast and my dogs, this is my lighthouse in the storm. Love you guys. Respect. Bad news about today's show, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy is in control. My buttons determine what audio plays today, which means we might have to do nothing but segments called, is it the hot dog or is it the bun?
No, this is a hot dog bun. I think it's a hot dog, too.
Maybe. But anyway.
Even in their hot dog choice, they're indecisive.
Yeah. We're having problems. All right. I give myself 2 drops because I'm in control. So,
my name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff Kavanaugh. Welcome, everybody, to my show with my friends. In the middle of your screen is former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
No raw dog for me, baby.
No raw dog. Next to Jesse is the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Clarence Hill.
You want to win, put chill in.
And if you're wondering to yourself, Jeff, how many buttons do you have on your machine? The answer is 8. I have now played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And if you want to know what the other 3 are, this is one of them.
Why not just start the day picking it up?
This is one of them.
I want me some glory hole.
And this is one of them.
What do you mean, you people?
It's getting hot in my hood. How you guys doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah.
Clarence, you okay? You look lost.
Yeah, he's it's pop stuff, man. How he muted himself, I don't know, but that's just what old people do.
Oh, he muted himself.
I've done nothing.
Okay, there we go. There we go. He's back. He's back.
Hey, I did not. I'm not raw dogging.
Let's go.
Good.
Is he super quiet to you, Jesse?
No, he's good. I can hear him.
He's good. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Yes.
All right. I can kind of hear.
Yeah.
All right.
Live in living color.
Okay. You just sound way quieter than Jesse to me, but I'm not wearing headphones, so I don't know. Tell me in the chat, does Clarence sound quieter than Jesse, or is it just a Jeff problem? We're just hanging out. Yeah, he's quiet. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. We're just hanging out. What?
I'm quiet.
Yeah, you're kind of quiet. I mean, not in life. You're loud as hell, but like your microphone currently is. He sounds like he's talking through a closed window. But whatever. What kind of microphone are you using? I like the idea of just producing the show on the fly while people watch us.
I'm using your, my computer mic.
That's pretty low budget. You're sounding okay right now, though.
Now you sound good. You sound good now.
Yeah, just kind of stay up on it. You know what I mean? Get your beautiful mug.
Keep your mouth up. Keep your mouth up on it. Put your mouth up.
She bumped me up.
Put your mouth on it.
I don't think that's possible.
Sir.
I don't think that's possible.
He has his mouth on it.
Just be up on
He's the one with a.
We're just hanging out.
Tell me.
Yep.
You got the ski gear on. You got the ski gear on. When did you come up with the idea to put the ski gear on? I don't think that's something Jesse would do. Certainly not something I would do. But you're comfortable, putting the ski gear on. How did this come about?
Well, it's a great question, Clarence, and I'll give you the first answer, and then I'll give you the real answer. The first answer is
it's an impulse buy.
It's a snow day, and so I wanted to be funny. But the reason that I wanted to be funny on a snow day is actually because I'm violently hungover and I was desperate to find a way to feel okay. And if you guys don't know this, one way to feel better is to do goofy stuff. So I was like, maybe I'll just do some goofy stuff and see if that makes me feel better.
Oh, boy.
So
on a Wednesday night, you went in. I love it.
I went to trivia night, and then accidents happened. and that'll happen sometime. But anyway, we're just hanging out trying to figure out if Mike McCarthy is going to be the Cowboys coach or not, and it's just going to be a daily thing until we figure something out. So, Clarence, what is the very latest? What are we doing?
I mean, that's just where we are. I mean, clearly, just to reset things, on Monday they did the player exit interviews. Tuesday they began talking, but according to reports, they did not do any negotiating. They were just talking about we want to be with each other and how that looks like, and I'm assuming. Well, Tuesday, Wednesday. What day are we? I mean,
we're Thursday. We're Thursday.
The days of the week are just kind of running by. Because you have a Jesse. You have a routine. It's game week. You go to the Star. The routine is off. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'm just trying to get through. We're trying to get to Friday. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. But so it's kind of a wait and see game. I think it's important to note that I think the Cowboys want to bring him back. And we're going through this process because they're trying to come to some middle ground on how to do that. I don't think it's as easier said than done, so to speak, of how you come to a middle ground on it, especially when you're talking about contract and years, and certainly you got assistants that's going out the door. I think that's the biggest thing now is that even if you want to bring him back, you put your assistants out there because their contract's up and they're already talking to other people. You could lose some guys.
See, here's my issue, and this is maybe
better be an issue.
Why it is an issue. Why Jerry needs to kind of have someone else in place. And I'm not going to say a general manager. I'm going to say an assistant Jerry Jones. And here's why. Because while you're out doing TV stuff, and you're out doing oil and gas stuff, and you're out doing real estate stuff, why aren't these conversations being had? You meet with Mike and the coaches and the training staff every Monday. Like, so if you knew January 2024 of last year that this day was coming. And so why not have these intermittent conversations throughout the year about this negotiation, about what we're talking about what we're thinking, and stop waiting until we get here now? Like, they're like, how are these conversations just pushed along the road, kick the can down the road with these conversations? And now we come to a time where I guess deadline makes deals that we're now kind of trying to hustle and bustle to make this thing. This should have been a far-going conclusion at this point in time of the year that we're keeping you, we're not. And if we're keeping you, here's where my number is. Here's what your number is. We could have reached that in August in training camp. We could have came back to that in October, November. And now we can come to a point here in time in January of saying, here's my last and final offer, take it or leave it. And they decide to go their either separate ways or to have this union come together again. I just don't understand how are we just now getting into the negotiation conversations and how we're just getting into the fact that, let's talk about where we're at and what we want to do with you, with your assistants and so on and so forth. And we're talking about this being January 9th. You knew January 9th, 2024, after the Green Bay Packers took belt across your butt, what it was going to be going forward. You could have just started having these conversations little by little over time to come to a conclusion so that we could be moving forward with what we're going to do in this organization, what we're going to do with this team, so that we know who's drafting, what we need, how else. We shouldn't be having this conversation January 9th of 2025.
This is Clarence's guy. That's what Clarence's guy does.
See, I just because I was a voice of reason, just because I just offered. Now he's my guy. Now it was my guy.
You sounded very your guy yesterday, though. You were very my guy yesterday.
Yesterday, I was just giving another
your guy
point of view. I was giving another point of view. It's funny, and it better be funny.
I felt like Rosie was outside, or whoever the new guy is was outside to give you a ride home after yesterday's show. I really felt like you got ushered home yesterday.
We're talking about the same guy that even Sunday night was acting like how they handled Dak and CeeDee's deals weren't wrong. Okay, so you're talking about a guy that has no regrets on the timeline for the Dak and CeeDee deals. You think he gonna have a timeline regret on how he's doing the Mike McCarthy deal?
Probably not. But I mean, I desperately wish that. Problem is there's no one above him, right? There's no one above him. So there's no one to tell him or for him to listen to. That the fact that you don't have urgency with a lot of these different things really lets stuff fall through the cracks when we are trying to win, like we'll talk about it a little bit in a later segment, but it would kind of make sense if he has somebody in mind that he doesn't know if he can get, that he can't talk to until a certain time to string McCarthy along. But now it's your report, Clarence, about how the assistants are free.
Right.
And I mean, if you have guys that are in demand, like last year, they had a lot of guys that were in demand and Dan Quinn took a bunch of them with him. If you have guys that are in demand and you told them, yeah, I mean, feel free to come to work on Monday and we'll keep paying you until we tell you if we're going to fire you or not. Like that seems absolutely insane to me. But if you don't know who the head coach is going to be, I mean, I guess it's not like you're going to extend a random position coach without knowing who the head coach is going to be because he's going to bring his own guys. But all of that just seems so incredibly inefficient when we.
No, it is, and it's funny because I was talking to somebody yesterday.
Funny.
The system's out of contract, but they can work as at-will employees. They can still come to work, either they have no contract, and they'll get paid as at-will employees. Like work to do what? To break down the season for who? For what coach? I mean, but realistically, I was told that Coach told me yesterday, yeah, they told us that we're out of the office and we don't have to come back until Monday. And so obviously I think that's when we'll know something, certainly by Monday for sure. But this coach said that he's already two coaches who are interviewing for other jobs have said, hey, if I get this job, you're on my staff. I want you on my staff. So those conversations are being had, with the assistants.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild for if it's got, and I mean, all of that would lead me to think that despite the fact that they won't let McCarthy interview anywhere else, that would lead me to believe you're not coming back. Otherwise, you would have, if you're having conversations with Mike, then he would have conversations with his assistants, right? It's like, hey, we're going to be good.
Yeah,
sit good.
Tight. We're good. Sit tight. Don't go anywhere. Don't look around. We're good. But it seemed like that's not happening. And to just go back to hit a point about the Micah and the DAC, not the Micah, but the CeeDee and the DAC contracts and whatever other contract you want to add into that, the Zeke contract was, you think he would learn from that, right? Like you would think there would be some level of, hey, I probably shouldn't have drug my feet with those deals. And maybe I should be better. And I know that's far-fetched thinking, but
billionaires don't learn stuff.
I'm like, but here we are again with another dragging of the feet.
Yeah, so we'll just keep a sharp eye, and then Clarence will tell us when something happens.
Listen, I think the dam has to break over the weekend, and whether it's going to be me or because all the pregame shows got the insiders. They're going to be keeping us abreast of Saturday and Sunday of the goings on of the deal. Somebody's going to leak something by Monday for sure. Whether we have a press conference or announcement, but we'll know something by Monday.
I mean, if I know, I guess it depends. It depends because there's multiple things that could be happening. That Jerry could absolutely positively be waiting until Saturday morning to just keep the Cowboys in the headlines during playoff football. He could absolutely be waiting for that. Or he could be waiting for access to somebody, whether it's in the NFL circles or whether it's in the college circles. That's for later in the show.
I think one caveat here, I think the fact that Mike really wants to stay, if Mike wants to leave, I think we'd be down the road. I think the fact that Mike really wants to stay, and it is why he's I guess putting up with this situation because he can say, Jerry, I'm out.
Yeah, I hope he bites him. I hope at some point Mike treat me like the family dog. I'm gonna bite you. Shout out to Freak Jesus. We see you there. Hey KG, what's happening? Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Are there a couple of big time Cowboy storylines that have been flying under the radar, guys, we might be worried about? We'll get into that next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
And more, do I got the perfect gift for you. It's officially licensed in every sport: NFL, NHL, NBA, NCAA, MLB. It's the ice shaker. Like, all right, so it's workout season is here. You need a good protein ice shaker. This is created and used by the Grunt Brothers. So you know one thing for certain, two things for sure. If you slam this bad boy, it is not going to break. But you put your drinks in there. It has the numbers on the inside. It's a cool little thing right here. You zip that bad boy on, and you shake it all about. You do the protein hokey pokey, and that's what it's. No, but the ice shaker, you can use our promo code ALLCITY25 to get 25% off one of these ice shakers. I got the cool Cowboy one right here. It keeps things cold up to 30 hours. So if you're a slow drinker, fast drinker, you can not only can you use this for your proteins, but you can use it for tea, for coffee, for juice, for water. You can be like Jeff, and you can get on that thing up there and be up there how long you want. But hey, head on over right now to iceshaker.com. Use ALLCITY25. Get 25% off your first purchase, and be like Gronk and them. Like protein shakes.
Yeah, shout out to our friends at Game Time as well. It's the best place to buy tickets. The promo code is DLLS when you download the Game Time app and you want to buy tickets to any game, any show, any whatever. You use the promo code DLLS after you download the Game Time app. And what they're going to do is give you $20 off your first purchase. They also have a lowest priced guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So make sure you have that app on your phone, the Game Time app. There, when you're buying tickets, you can see your seat views, get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. They have all-in pricing, so you can toggle that feature on and show the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout, all those things. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code DLLS for 20% off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account. DLLS gets you $20 off. What time is it? Game time. Can you put Fireball in that? Yeah, you can put Fireball in that.
Yeah, sure. 30 hours.
Okay, couple of guys I want to talk about, and it's not fun, and I don't want to do this. Jeff looks like he's about to run a 40 outside. About to drink a 40 outside. Get me some of that Schlitz malt liquor. OE. We were chatting a little bit before the show, and one of the most important things about what's going to happen next season, who's coaching the team is going to matter. How they draft is going to matter. Their offseason is going to matter. Do they actually sign free agents is going to matter. But how are you guys feeling about Dak Prescott? How are you guys feeling about Dak Prescott? Because, I mean, that's a non-negotiable. If you want to be good, he's got to be Dak Prescott, the one that we got used to for a long time. That's a really good NFL quarterback. What was up with the guy we saw this year, and how do you feel about him having two legs again next year?
I like Dak. I really do. And I think Dak's a really good quarterback. But we are teetering in a space where we need to see more than just the regular season stats. And I think this is being fair. I know that it is a team game. I know that it is, 22 guys, 11 offense, 11 defense. I know that it is coaching staffs. But let's just be real. You win and you lose in this league a lot of times depending on how good and or bad your starting quarterback is. The teams that win the big games, that hoist the trophy, it's because they have the elite quarterbacks. The teams that go and deep into the playoffs, NFC, AFC championship games, year in and year out, yes, it's because of coaches. Yes, it's because roster building. Yes, it's because team building. Yes, it's because culture. Yes, it's because coaching. But at the end of the day, you have to have a quarterback that is like head of the class. And I think Dak is getting to a point where it's put up or shut up time. It's put up or shut up time. And I don't want to say, okay, let me say this. Dak's one injury away from us to be calling him injury prone. Like, he's one more major injury away, another 4, 5, 6 game injury away where we're saying, all right, bro, you're in your 30s, you're in year 10. This is maybe what we're looking at now. You may have the Tyron Smith effect on you. It's not if you're going to miss a game or 2 or 3 or a season, but when. But I do think that the window is closing on Dak faster than we want to believe. And I know that the contract says that he had this amount of years, but the league is getting better all around us. Like, guys are getting better all around us fast. And they're going to be there for a couple of more years, while whatever he has left in his prime, it needs to come to the forefront ASAP, like 2025 ASAP.
I enjoyed the comments where it's like it starts with the owner from Jalen in the chat. Like, we tear up the owner every day. We're going to spend a second on the quarter. We tear up the owner every day.
We do.
Some of us.
You do.
And like, I'm Dak. I've been accused of being Dak Homer, and I think it's just because I'm a realistic person and there's a lot of haters in the world. Dak's been a good NFL quarterback his whole career. Sometimes he's been a great NFL quarterback. He was just second team All-Pro, blah, 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 right? He's really, really good. But the sample size that we got from him this year, I lean to Dak's going to be wonderful next year. I lean there. But what we saw from him this season, like even before he hurt the hammy, I did have part of my brain wondering, like, if we just had an accumulation of like shoulder and when he snapped his leg and foot and like calf and all of these different things.
Knees and toes, knees and toes.
Yes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So where it's like, man, you don't really look right. Like, mechanically it doesn't look great. And like the whole team started bad, but Homer Jeff, Dak man Jeff was kind of looking at it like this isn't really who I'm used to. And so I lean to he's fine. He's going to be wonderful. But I no longer stand 10 toes down there and fight off the haters. I'm like, let's keep an eye on old Dakota since Clarence got him hurt.
Clarence, you did get him hurt. It was your fault.
Clarence stared him dead in the eye. Said, Kirk Cousins has more rushing yards than you, and started naming a bunch of people.
He named Aaron Rodgers
later.
Aaron Rodgers, all that, and Dak takes off.
48 hours later, Dak takes off running. Thanks, Clarence. You ripped his hamstring off the bone.
As the resident Dak whisperer here, Dak is fine. I mean, I go back to when we're talking about the Jerry Jones conversation about how he has no regrets on how the CeeDee and he handled CeeDee and Dak. CeeDee was not right at the start of the season. At the end of the season, CeeDee was great. CeeDee not being right at the start of the season affected Dak, impacted the team's production, impacted all that, because it's been CeeDee a bunch of maybe. Somebody in the chat said, give Dak some weapons like Joe Burrow. I mean, we love Joe Burrow. He got the best weapons in the league. I mean, it's been Dak, it's CeeDee and a bunch of maybes. It's been nobody in the backfield. There's no difference maker weapons that he has to work with outside of CeeDee. When we talk about your quarterback needs to be elite to win Super Bowls, I get that. That's the Patrick Mahomes syndrome. That's the Tom Brady syndrome. That's, all of that. I do remember Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl. Okay, I do remember Nick Foles winning. I do remember Brock Purdy getting to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy is not better than Dak. Okay, they had a better defense. They had a better team around him, and it is the ultimate team sport. Yes, Dak has to be better in moments. Dak cannot be bad, but I don't think Dak. I never thought Dak was Patrick Mahomes. He's never putting a rabbit out of his hat. That's not who he is. But they can win with Dak with the right team around him.
Okay, are you guys ready for this one? That I need you to know I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but there is a conversation that needs to be had about another guy in the Cowboys. I like the nerd stuff. I think all nerd stats are fun, but they also have to be put in context. But I'm going to give you a nerd stat from last year, and then we're going to have to talk about a player. There is a statistic which is known as, let me make sure I get the right word on the statistic. It's DYAR. It's something yards above replacement. So essentially how good you do compared to if you're not out there and you have to have a league average player replace you. Like how good of a job you. Jake Ferguson just broke the record for the worst yards above replacement in the history of the stat of tight end positions. His stat, it was a negative. Like an average replacement level player in theory would have had like 200 yards more than Jake Ferguson had in the snaps that he played. And he was banged up. He lost a quarterback. There's a lot of things there, but people get hurt and people lose quarterbacks and they don't put together the worst season ever. I just wondered, did we jump the gun in how quickly it went from, oh, this guy is a NFL starter to just, oh, he's going to be on this trajectory and he's going to become this. He's going to become that. He's going into the last year of his contract. And I think we may not talk about it much because they have so many other things that we need. They need a tight end.
I may be in the Jake Ferguson minority camp, but I think there's still hope. I think not having Dak, who he's built a serious rapport with, and I think I talked about this a week or so ago, but when you look at Dak and what his throws are, right? Like Dak's throw, his throw is the seam. Like that's his throw. Like that's his throw. His throw ain't the deep ball. It ain't the out route. His throw,
hospital ball.
His throw is that tight end up the middle of the field. And that's an option for him. It's an early option for him as well. And I think with not having Dak really, really, really took a hit on, like CeeDee, we talked about it. CeeDee's quarterback proof, right? It doesn't matter. Clarence can go out there. I can go out there. You can go out there. If we get the ball anywhere and they're close to CeeDee, he's probably going to catch it. And often he's probably going to make a play that we didn't account for once he gets the ball in his hands. Other guys in this league aren't like that. They kind of need that. They need that Starsky and Hutch type of relationship. And I think I'm willing to bet if Dak Prescott is healthy and on a good trajectory next year, I think you'll see a guy like Jake Ferguson's numbers bump up significantly with Dak back under the center next year.
Bad you said that because I got good hands. I can catch the ball. You know,
I was talking about throwing the ball, not.
I thought you said he.
I said CeeDee is quarterback proof. If you or me or Jeff threw him the ball,
I thought you meant catching the ball.
No.
But I hear you. But a tight end at its core is supposed to be a quarterback's line as a blanket. It's supposed to be their best friend. And it was funny because we're raising that point when he was out and Schoonmaker was in, and Schoonmaker's numbers jumped. Schoonmaker looked like a guy. Okay. I don't know why when Ferguson came back that we just stopped seeing Schoonmaker and he stopped getting the ball. But he had something going with Cooper Rush. And Schoonmaker looked like a player. You know, things that we weren't seeing with Ferguson. You know, and I don't understand why that is. Because some of the things that he should have been able to catch those same balls, you know, and have that same type of production. But Schoonmaker was somebody that Cooper was feeding, and they having success doing. It went away when Schoonmaker went off the field. Why?
Yeah, because the relationship. It's the relationship. When it comes to quarterback, and Jeff, you remember because you were this close. You were this close from the National Football League, and that type of relationship matters. Schoonmaker and Cooper Rush, they both were backups relegated to. I remember working with the scout team and the second and third team when I was with the Cowboys, and I worked with John Kitna a lot. And so there was a rapport there. We had a relationship. We knew how things were going because this is how he worked every single day. So then when you get into a game with the guy, that relationship continues to build. And you know where he wants it, how he wants it, all that kind of good stuff. So there is a relationship factor that comes into that quarterback, that pass catcher and that pass thrower that sometimes can be off. And that's why I say for Jake, when Dak comes back, I think he'll be back to who he was.
He has to be because before Schoonmaker, like go back to the San Francisco game, he had like one snap. I think he had two snaps. I mean, the coaching staff was down on Schoonmaker. They were really off the record. They were down. This guy needs this, he needs that, and then I was like, well, he's been working. No, the fact that we changed quarterbacks and Schoonmaker all of a sudden became a player, it was mind-boggling to me.
You know why Clarence is my favorite beat writer of all time? This son of a bitch with no hesitation will say off the record and then tell you what people told him.
I didn't tell you who told me. I didn't tell you who told me. It's all about who. It's all about who.
Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys Podcast, we've got a theory about what might be the holdup. What's Jerry Jones waiting for? We'll figure it out next.
And the East-West Shrine Game, the 100th year of the East-West Shrine Game is coming to AT&T Stadium January 30th. Be a part of history in the making with the 100th Shrine Bowl at AT&T Stadium since 1925. Clarence, you were kind of around a little bit that. And the game has benefited Shrine's Children's Admission, provide innovative pediatric specialty care to improve and transform the lives of children. See some of the nation's top college football players play in the head-to-head competition ahead of the NFL draft. Some of the largest names in the NFL have played in the East-West Shrine Bowl, like Tom Brady, Walter Payton, Roger Staubach, Lawrence Taylor, Doak Walker, and more. Popular players in the NFL like Brock Purdy, you talked about, Isaiah Pacheco, and even your own guys like Rico Dowdle has been in there. Brian Anger is in there. So head over to shrinebowl.com and we had a promo code on this. No promo code. And just
tickets $20, baby.
They're $20 right there. So head over to shrinebowl.com, get in the game, and see some of the nation's best playing this game at AT&T Stadium.
Shout out to our friends at Sleeper as well. We got a big game. We got big games coming up this weekend. You can get in the mix there on Sleeper. It is the best fantasy league platform out there, but we're talking about the daily fantasy. We're talking about making picks. All you got to do is pick. What do you think about these different players? Will they have more or less than projected stats each week? There's passing yards, there's receptions, there's rushing yards. Any stat you can think of, all you got to do is say, I'm sports smart. I know that dude's going to have more rushing yards than that number. Bang. That's a pick. And then you make mo picks. And the more you make, the more money you can make. That's how it works on Sleeper. The more picks you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. So if you think you got what it takes, download the Sleeper app and use the code DLLS Boys. You'll get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. Terms and conditions apply. See their terms of use for details. Operational in over 25 states, including Texas. Check out Sleeper today.
This ain't
all right,
Texas.
we got a theory. Hey, Clarence.
Yes, sir.
What the hell were you doing in the break?
I'm sorry. I was looking at the snow. It's coming down. I have a window behind me. I'm sorry. What happened? What was going
I'm glad
on?
you got pants on, brother. I'm glad you got.
Yes, I got pants on.
I'm glad.
Okay,
so the answer is I was looking at the snow.
It's starting to come down. My computer's right from a window. And so it started to come down harder. And I was like, and the kids are outside playing. And so I said, let me look and see, with all due respect, when we're in the studio and you do the breaks, I'm off camera, okay? Because y'all, you do a 2-shot or 1-shot and you bring your ass, okay? That's the time I'm listening. I got adult ADHD. I can't sit still. You got me sitting in a chair. I don't sit still, okay? God. And so my mind wanders. I mean, a lot of stuff going on. So usually during the break is when I, check my phone. I get to do things like that. And so anyway, during this break, I said, let me go and check what's going on because I can hear it. I can hear it coming down. I got people coming to town for the game. They're trying to come in. So there's a lot of things going on. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yep. No, you're fine. I was just curious. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have an emergency or anything.
No. And I got pants on.
I'm glad. Thank the Lord.
I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you're not as.
Well, that makes me wonder, Jeff. Do you have pants on?
Oh,
that is a question that I'm not going to answer. But shout out to Jeremy who said, "Good thing Chill wasn't Pooh bearing it up." No, when I go cosplay, I go all the way. I got my ski pants on.
Okay, I was just making sure. I'm just saying. That begs the question: do you have pants on?
Might be Winnie the Pooh over here. Might be Winnie the Pooh over this part. Might be Winnie the Pooh over here. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean.
That's what I.
All right, we got a theory. It's time for a reckless speculation segment.
Okay, let's go.
Which Mike Greenberg did this today, and that became something that went around the internet. And I think he probably just watches our show because I heard it from Clarence way before I heard it from Mike Greenberg, which means that Mike Greenberg is a content thief. But it is worth kicking around because the Cowboys' assistant coaches are out of contract and could go take jobs. Mike McCarthy, what are they going to do with him? We don't know. One thing that could make sense is if you were waiting to talk to a guy who's busy. And there are guys who are busy, but a lot of the NFL guys are taking interviews while they get ready for playoff games. But what if, and if was a fifth, what if Jerry's hired college guys before.
Mm.
Some of them are busy right now, but they might not be busy soon. You buy it? Anybody want to buy on some reckless speculation about insert college coach here?
Well, can I speculate with you even more?
Yeah.
The guy may be busy, but he's in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
He's in your neighborhood.
Who's playing here? Texas,
He's
Ohio
here.
State?
He's here. Both
Talking
of
about
them.
Ryan Day?
Both of them may be here. They're in your backyard. They're playing at your stadium. You can easily send a car, send a bus. Hell, send a Jerry chopper.
Yeah, you could send a chopper.
He's probably going to chopper to the stadium for sure. And Jerry's going to be at the game. He's going to be there with Michael Parsons in the same suite. It's something I speculated, and certainly I put it out there on Twitter yesterday. Adam Schefter actually talked about it a week ago that teams may be interested in Steve Sarkisian, the Texas coach, who has a history in the NFL with certainly the Atlanta Falcons. Offensive guy. His agent is Jimmy Sexton. So somebody put that in. I don't know if you guys know Jimmy Sexton. He's the agent to the coaches, and he gets everybody paid. And so he dropped that bomb, that tidbit in somebody's ear. But just for my, just personal thought processes, here's a guy who's local. Here's a guy who has a name. Here's a guy who's been in the fishbowl, understands what it means to coach in the fishbowl at USC, certainly Texas, certainly been at Alabama under Nick Saban, been in the NFL, is a quarterback, offensive guru, manager type things. The Cowboys know him because Jerry's grandson played at Texas. The guy that drafted Overshown,
Yeah, the kid who drafted.
Now you want to listen to grandkids. Now grandkids are okay to listen to. Now, okay, I got it.
But seriously, if I'm not saying it's going to happen, I'm not even saying Steve Sarkisian is going to be interested because Jerry paid Mike McCarthy $4 million, and Sarkisian's already making $10 million, $11 million in college football. He's going to have to up the money for sure. But it's a phone call I would make.
Yeah, I do think Jimmy Sexton is the GOAT. Every offseason, like when Saban left, Jimmy Sexton just starts grabbing his chess pieces, and he's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say that school is interested in you. Now you're going to actually go and take their money. But first, let me take these three dudes, and then we're going to say that you might go. We'll get all you raises, and then you're going to get the raise, and I'm going to put you over there. That's what we're going to do. So, yeah, I could totally see him just trying to get his guy a raise. You make your guy a hot name, and even though he has a contract, the school comes up, and they're like, hey, you can't leave, buddy. And it's like, well, I don't want to, but – and then they get a bunch more money. So I could totally see that. And Jerry's cheap behind, ain't going to pay nobody. But, well, maybe he would. For the right coach, would Jerry actually pay? Like, I've never thought of how much the head coach makes as a thing until McCarthy, and knowing that he makes literally 20% what the guys who make the most. But Jerry wouldn't be opposed to paying a head coach, would he?
Well, he hasn't. He's never done it. He's never paid a head coach at the top of the market.
That's gross.
And I think for that reason right there, a guy like Sarkisian will go, I'm good. Because at this point, I'm making more money than I can actually count right now at Texas. And in no way, shape, or form am I comparing Texas to the Cowboys, but the Texas Longhorns are as popular in college football in North America, right? In North America as any school. So I get to call the shots. I make a boatload of money. My facilities are top notch. I'm getting all the media coverage that I can handle. I'm in the SEC now. So if Jerry didn't at least meet the $10 million threshold, I, for one, if I'm Sark, I'll go, I appreciate the call, and I'll take your free steak dinner, and I'll enjoy your conversation, and we'll chop it up and yuck it up. But I'm not leaving this situation if you're trying to pay me pennies on the dollar just because you're the Dallas Cowboys. He's been around all the programs, so it's like no, that I don't think that would excite Sark enough to make him leave. And you go, well, we're going to give you $5 million, and you get to say that you're the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah,
and whether it's Sark or whether it's the Cowboys, the Bears. I mean, I would call Marcus Freeman. I mean, that guy, that Notre Dame coach is a young, hot, up and coming coach. I would buy all the stock in Marcus Freeman. Something like that. But just getting back to Jerry, $10 million. I think any deal that Mike McCarthy comes back on has to start at 10.
Oh, wow. See, I don't think it will.
Double. Wow. Okay.
I don't think it will.
That's what coaches are getting paid. The dude in Seattle, first year coach, is getting 9.
I know, but I think Jerry's going to do what Jerry does, which is Jerry's going to be like, look, I held you out long enough that if there was a team that was going to hire you, that's not going to happen anymore. And so do you want to coach or not?
Well, I think that's why Mike, he changed agents in the offseason, anticipating all of this. And he has his agent is Don Yee, who is, again, Sean Payton's agent. It's Tom Brady's agent. I mean, he changed agents for this negotiation, okay? And I'm sure he wants to be made whole. He took the contract he did 5 years ago because he was out of coaching. He was in the barn doing, just trying to get back in. And He took a bad deal, took a lowball deal, but the money has jumped considerably since then. And it has to be double, if not 10 million, Kevin Craig's putting 7 to 8 million. It has to be up there. You have to be competitive. And Mike McDonald in Seattle, the guy from Baltimore, is getting $9 million a year.
I
got to learn to coach,
Oh, coaching is the new. That is the new. What do they call it? Not a scam, but that's the new jig right there, man. Like you get into coaching, even if you fail. Like, sorry for Gerard Mayo, right? I'm sorry, bro. Like I didn't want you to lose your job.
Got him a few million though.
You're fired in year 1. You're now chilling with 4 more years of pay, millions, right? Like whether that's 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever that is. Sorry, Antonio Pierce. You got fired. You got 4 more years where you can go. You can go back and coach high school ball. You can go to college ball. You can do whatever you want. That check every Tuesday or monthly or however it comes in, going to keep coming for the next 4 years. College is the same way. They fire jokers left and right. I mean, have we heard from what's my boy down in Texas A&M? Jimbo. We ain't heard from Jimbo. Jimbo got what he got? $70 million. Oh,
he's living.
We ain't heard from Jimbo. Jimbo, like, remember when you my guy at LSU, Coach O. With Coach O, they said whenever he had left on his deal, he said, "What do I sign? If y'all want to fire me, I get the rest of this buyout. I'm out. I'm going. I'll go sit on my lake house and just play with my grandkids and just chill out. If this is going to be the cost."
Man, shout out to every coach and every athlete who does try their best, because we have reached the point where it don't take, like, it's first contract, you're set forever unless you totally F it up. And I know the young version of me, I would not have been a good player for you. I'm good forever. And I'm supposed to go, you think I'm gonna go do some extra stuff? I'd be Luca. Pizza and Fortnite. That's what I'd be doing. Pizza, beer, and Fortnite. Squares. Yeah, pack of Marlboro Reds, just have one dangling pretty much all the time. Yeah, that would be my life. Shout out to the guy. I think that's got to be one of the most important things now, as I am draft man. Like, figuring out who you are, who are you? That's got to be one of the biggest things, or it should be one of the biggest things, is when life changes. Is this dude a psycho that just he loves doing this? Or is he like most of the population of the world and is going to be like, wait, I'm good forever? Huh. I mean, I'll come to work. But if you want me to do an extra set, I'm good on that, buddy. Anywho, shout out to coaches making all of their monies.
Is Ryan, let me ask this quickly. Is Ryan Day in the mix of being called?
I've never heard his name related to the NFL. So
no.
The only names I've seen or read about would be the ones Clarence mentioned, Sark and Notre Dame, Freeman.
Marcus Freeman.
Yeah. And Day was on the verge of being fired. If they don't go on this run, I mean, they were so down on him after last year, and they come and lose it again to Michigan. They were out on him. So I don't see that happening. One good question, Jeff. Because I'm looking at the kids, I'm listening to kids. You gonna go outside and play in the snow with the kids? You got kids in your neighborhood. You got to ski your own. Gonna play some snowball fights.
I've only met one neighbor, and I've been here like 6 or 7 years. I met the guy who lives next door, and that's it. And one of these days, I'm just gonna walk down, because there's always people outside and playing with kids. One of these days, I'm gonna walk down and I'm be like, I'm sorry about the last 7 years. I probably should have introduced myself. Hi. No. I
don't know your neighbors.
I know. I do. One of them is a police, so I feel good about that. I know that we're safe around here. He keeps his police cruiser right out front overnight, and so I'm like, we good around here. Ain't nobody gonna be effing around. We got the popo. But I'm gonna go play in the snow later. Not with kids though. That would be weird. Coming up next, we got some NFL football this weekend, including in the NFC East. And I'll also give you some names to watch in the college football playoff. How about that?
No bunny.
Next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Yep. Don't wear that's why you don't go out there. Don't wear the goggles. Yeah. What if I just go out what if I get geared up and head out? But boy, we used to do some redneck stuff. Like you put on your ski gear, you get a rope, you tie it to the back of the truck, you get a trash can lid, and you go sitting on that thing. And I had a buddy separate a shoulder, had a guy broken arm, but you can't worry about that. You just got to get back on that sucker. Get to work. Couple concussions, no biggie. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be telling y'all something. Sign up to be a diehard. AllDLLS.com is the website. And when you sign up to be a diehard, it's great. Everybody that's here in the chat, if you're hitting the like button, if you're subscribed to youtube.com/@DLLS_sports, we love you, and that's wonderful. If you want to step that support up one notch, alldlls.com, sign up to be a diehard, and you get hooked up. You get an ad-free experience on the website. You get access to all of our premium content. With the draft coming up, there's going to be a lot of things being done. We do have events being planned. You get 20% off of events. You get 20% off merch. You get a free t-shirt from our merch store, which is badass. You get access to the Discord server where we're hanging out and talking about all sorts of things, not just sports. You get all of those different things when you sign up to be a diehard at alldlls.com. You guys realize I knew it was a thing. I don't know if I could find the stat now, but you know how nobody ever repeats in the NFC East? It's been like, I don't even know how many years.
2004. Eagles
1
won 3 straight.
Yep.
No other division has a gap that is more than 1 year. Every other division is like, yeah, this team won it last year or this year. And the East has that big a gap. And I have no idea what that means. I just think it's funny. I think it's funny. I do enjoy in the chat, people are blaming Dak for literally everything. It's a good bit. Somebody asked if people had heat and power. Somebody said Dak took mine away. Dak's hiding Tupac.
But Dak doesn't he's not absolved of all, right? Like he has he's culpable in some of this.
What are you talking about, Tupac?
I don't even think, was Dak even born when Tupac was like, when he got killed?
What was that, 94?
I don't think Dak was born. I don't even think Dak was born then.
Oh, he was. Yeah, surely he was. Yeah, he died in 96. Dak's in his third. I'm 40. So I would have been
Dak
12.
might have been like 2.
Dak ain't.
He's just like 31. He might be 30, 31.
Yeah, Dak like 30 years old. He might have been on the sheet a couple times.
He was 3. Dak was born in 1993.
3-year-olds can handle guns. 3-year-olds can handle guns.
Yeah, and drive-bys. Okay.
Yeah.
Drive in, shoot. All right, I got you.
So anyway, I'm getting ready for the college football playoff, but I know we're also getting ready for the NFL stuff, and we do have 2 NFC East teams that are going to be playing this weekend. Neither of them are the Cowboys. I don't know if you guys knew that. We did not make the postseason this year.
But we had to work this weekend.
Will not be playing that. I would say, though, if you are going to sneak into the playoffs or get into the playoffs as a wild card, shout out to the Commanders. Because you know who I would love to play in the postseason? The Commanders get to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That might be the most beatable team right there.
Do we need to change the rules? Like division winners with a crappy record, you don't need to have a home game. Like we'll let you in the playoffs, I guess. But we either need to blow up divisions or not grant them home games because like Tampa Bay is now 3 years in a row that through 14 games, they've been 6-8 and they've made the playoffs. But you don't get to have a home game when what did they finish? 9-8, 10-7? Did they end up they ended up winning the game, right? 10, whatever. Commanders going to win a playoff game. Or are they going to fart and fall down like the Cowboys would do? Because that is possible. But I think the Commanders are going to win a damn playoff game this weekend. And that's going to make me sad. It's not going to make me sad.
Here's what makes me sad is this division, while it hasn't had repeat winners, it's been a division that has had the most opportunity for you to dominate. And that's the thing for the Cowboys. Like, you could have dominated this division if you would have done things just right.
The Eagles might feel the same way, though, right? Because it's really just been two teams and two laughing stocks.
Right.
The Eagles might feel the same. Although I do feel like if Romo and Dak never got hurt, the Cowboys would have won the division like 80% of the last 15 years.
And they have dominated the division. I mean, you look at Dak's wins and his success against Washington, success against the Eagles, success against the Giants. I mean, he has a dominant record against the NFC East. That's why people say, well, he doesn't beat any good team, just beat the East. They call it the NFC the least for a reason, because the Cowboys have dominated. This division has been, those 12-5, 12-5, and 12-5 has been about beating up on the NFC least to a certain extent. They just can't get by San Francisco.
That's a good point.
And that is what you're supposed to do. Like, I guess I'm kind of a Tom Brady hater. Like, Tom Brady will be remembered as the GOAT because he won all of the Super Bowls, but like, I don't think he's the best quarterback that I've seen play football, if that makes sense. But they did it right. Their division was ass.
Right.
His whole career. And so they dominated it and they won the division every year. And like, they did what you're supposed to do. But I think that is a part of why Tom Brady won so many Super Bowls, is the best quarterback in that division while he was there that isn't named Tom Brady that he ever played against was who? Ryan Fitzpatrick? Mark Sanchez?
Yeah. They dominated the division. They had home field for a lot of those years. And so it made for an easier path to get to the Super Bowl, and they took advantage of it. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. Do you guys believe that the Commanders are going to beat the Bucs? I do.
I got the Bucs. I'm sorry. I just have not been impressed with the Commanders every time I watch them.
The Commanders only play bad against us, it seems like. Like, offensively, when I watch them play the other team, I'm like, okay, I see why everyone's excited about Jaden Daniels, and I see why and Terry McLaurin goes off, and this guy has it. I'm like, Cliff Kingsbury, he is putting some play call together. Play the Cowboys. It's the most terrible offense you've ever seen.
So disappointing. I needed them to beat us twice. They only beat us once. They almost didn't beat us at all. And Jaden Daniels was my fantasy quarterback and led me to a championship. So salute to you, sir. So yeah, same. Every week you watch them and you're like, boy, this thing is humming. And then they play you and you think that you suck. And it's just like, how are we shutting them down?
And even in the last one at the end of the year, it wasn't Jaden Daniels. It was Marcus Mariota that came in there and was like, now he looked like he should have been the starter of this football team, at least against us, because Jaden Daniels seems like I don't know what the hell he's doing when he's in there against the Cowboys, but everyone else, he looks like the rookie of the year. He looks like the next quarterback coming into this league that's gonna dominate for the next 8 to 10 years. Play against the Cowboys, and it looks like, buddy, you're gonna be in the XFL in a little bit.
Yeah, so I got Tampa winning the game, and we'll see. I mean, first playoff game, we'll see what they look like. I got Tampa, I got Baker, I got Tampa, I got their running game. Interesting. Lattimore is going to play for Washington, and he and Mike Evans have history. So might be some fights on the sideline right there.
Oh, they are going to fight. God, they hate each other.
Yeah, so there's going to be something to that. On the opposite, I got the Eagles beating the Packers. The Packers are going to be without. I like the receiver that they got hurt. Watson. Their cornerback, the top cornerback that killed the Cowboys last year. They kind of sparked that blowout. He's not playing. He's out for the year. Jair Alexander. So
would you want Jair Alexander on this football team? The Cowboys?
Absolutely. Yeah. All day.
Yes.
All day, every day.
Most definitely.
Okay.
No, most definitely.
He's a weird one. He's a good player. He's one of those eclectic types.
He's different, but I think
and Diggs isn't.
With Jair, it doesn't lead to violence, does it? Like, that's the one. The guys who get thrown out of games, I don't want. The guy who is just the most arrogant son of a bitch you've ever seen in your life, I want that in my corners. Okay. I love that. Like, he'll do weird stuff to receivers after they don't catch the ball. Like, he'll do some weird stuff, but his weird stuff I think is funny. But I also don't know him. He might be a crazy person. Arnie, I genuinely believe if Daniels finished that game, we would have won. We probably would have. So thank God for Marcus Mariota. We'd be picking 16th in the draft. Shout out to Marcus, taking care of business. I don't think the Packers are going to beat the Eagles, but I would God, love it if they did. Cowboys were supposed to smoke them, and they walked in here and beat our ass in a playoff game. Do the same thing to Philly because that town deserves it. You know, that town deserves heartbreak and sadness, anger, lubed up telephone pole, all that stuff. Philly doesn't need anything good to happen to them.
Well, the lubed up telephone poles only happens when they win. So you don't want the lubed up poles.
Okay, I get
that. That's when they win Super Bowl. They go up the poles. You don't really want the lubed up poles.
Well, you don't know what he does in his personal life, though.
I want Mason Glory hole.
I mean,
his personal life may enjoy it. We listen and we don't judge.
He already told us what snow he's playing in.
Yeah.
Please, Packers win it. Okay, we got a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you guys names, okay? College football playoffs schedule. We have a college football game tonight, and you're going to get – tonight is Penn State, Notre Dame, right?
Notre Dame.
I'm going to throw names at you. Penn State, Abdul Carter. You probably won't matter.
Will Abdul Carter be there at 11?
I don't think so. I could see him going in the top 3 or 4. It's a weird draft. It's a weird draft. So, like, I won't say totally not possible, but doubtful. But enjoy Abdul Carter, the Penn State pass rusher. You'll recognize him because he wears the same number, and he kind of does the same job that Micah does, which is line up and be a better athlete than everybody else and go kick their quarterback's ass.
Now, he hurt his shoulder in the last game, right? Is he?
Yeah.
He
was out for a little bit, but I think he worked his way back in, and they think that he's going to be fine. But he's worth watching. Notre Dame, safety, Xavier Watts, second roundish kind of prospect. He wears number 0. Keep a sharp eye on him. Penn State's running back Singleton. He's an NFL player. Keep a sharp eye on him. I'm doing this off the top of my head, trying to think if I.
Penn State tight end.
Oh, Tyler Warren. Dude, Tyler Warren might actually go around number 12. We can't
consider taking a tight end at 12, right? Like
I know, but that dude is bad.
That can't be a consideration.
I like him.
I wouldn't, but don't be surprised if he's a top 15 to 20 pick because he is very much like Penn State's offense with him is hilarious. At least the first game of tape that I watched on him, he'll line up all sorts of places. They'll run a 3-man line, and then he lines up at Wildcat and runs, but then he lines up at Wildcat and throws a bomb. Like they design their whole thing around getting this Gronk type dude the rock.
Yeah, he's a guy that goes to a complete team. Like he's a guy that goes, if he goes in the first round, he goes to a Kansas City. He goes to a team that's already complete, that doesn't have any holes. And I mean, I have to look at the draft.
He'll be gone by the time Kansas City pick. This dude is special.
Okay.
He's good. He's 6'6", 260. He's a good player. He's a good player. I'm anti-tight end too high in the draft, much like
running back, anti-tight end.
Mostly anti-running back.
Something like you really haven't. You didn't answer to me. I tweeted at you. Ashton Jeanty, what if he goes to the 49ers before he goes to the Cowboys? Wouldn't he be perfect in that 49ers offense?
Probably, but I don't. I mean, I hate running backs.
I understand that. I'm just saying, for a guy that's special, if 49ers pick 11, if they pick Ashton Jeanty and put him in that Shanahan scheme.
I think ultimately that's good for the Cowboys because it means that a more important position, a good player is still available that wouldn't have been. I think that's the way I lean. Like Jeanty's incredible, but the 49ers haven't gotten better results with McCaffrey than they did when they were running out Mostert and Jeff Wilson and whoever. I don't know.
They got to the Super Bowl. I don't think the running back is what held them back.
No, he's not what held him back, but it also so rarely is what like I want a great running back, especially if I can block. I don't want to give up too much of a resource to get it. Like Saquon didn't make Philly good. Philly made Saquon good. Saquon was over there on a crap team running for and I guess everything is wrong. Saquon's always been great. But you don't.
Yes, he stayed healthy for the first time.
Unless I let you by blocking.
I think Saquon could be the difference why Philly, if they get over the top, it's going to be because of Saquon.
Well, just arbitrarily.
They already had everything else they already had. Saquon may make them a real Super Bowl team this year.
Yeah, they went from being super awesome to being super awesome plus another guy. All right, we got to go. We will see you tomorrow. Enjoy college football tonight. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies. Bye.